Also on the ballot this November is a change to how prosecutors and county sheriffs are funded. KMUH Nathan Lee met with the Boone County Sheriff to learn more about this measure.
Well, John, you don't see too many signs like these around, do you? It's an issue that's flown under the radar for a lot of mid-Missourians. But the people who are vouching for Amendment 6 say it's just as important as anything else on the ballot. And I spoke to experts today to answer two questions. What is Amendment 6 and how is it going to impact the voters? It's a measure some call a needed fix to a Supreme Court ruling.
It's going to be on a steep decline over the next 9 years if we don't find the funding source.
And one others call a misstep in public policy.
You shouldn't be funding any of the criminal justice system mechanisms based on how many tickets you're writing on an annual basis.
You can't find where Amendment 6 is on Missouri's ballot. I don't blame you, but here it is, sandwiched on the middle of the second page with the smallest description out of any other amendment. And with so many other blockbuster votes on this year's ballot, Boone County Sheriff Dwayne Carey says it's been hard to educate voters.
They just don't know what Amendment 6 is, right, because of the big ticket draws in 2, 3, and 5.
The fight began 3 years ago when the Missouri Supreme Court deemed a $3 charge on guilty pleas and convictions unconstitutional. That charge funded sheriff's pensions for the past 40 years.
We have roughly around 200 sheriffs that are retired and I think about 54 widows. Those people are relying on this check coming in monthly because they're on a fixed income.
Carey says the system was more than 100% funded 3 years ago and is now on track to be bankrupt 9 years from now. Carey says the threat of that could cause a sheriff drought with no pension incentive to attract the best candidate.
You don't just want to turn the place over to somebody that has no experience and doesn't know what they're doing, because we've been on a very steep incline up and we want to keep that incline going up.
Now, after a bipartisan push, a Senate bill put Amendment 6 on the ballot.
It's a big problem that needs to be fixed, and they wanted to make sure that collectively we were going to get it addressed and get it to the voters.
But not all believe Amendment 6 is the way to go.
Most people who look at it are going to think that it's fairly innocuous.
Mallory Rush is the executive director of Empower Missouri.
We work on food security, affordable housing, and criminal justice reform.
She says the amendment takes Missouri backwards, not forwards.
Most states in the country are moving away from fines and fees within the criminal justice system. Missouri is, for some reason, kind of doubling down on this concept.
Now, one of Rush's issues is with the ballot language itself. She feels like it lacks too many details. So I went to the Senate bill, where it also lacks a lot of detail, never describing what those costs and fees would look like or what those salaries and benefits are.
About 85% of people that interact with the law enforcement system are considered to be low income. And so fining those folks is not an effective way for them to even up with society.
Carey says it's necessary to build back the system to what it was before.
It's been around for 40 years. No one has ever referenced that to be an issue.
But Rush isn't sold.
I really firmly believe that we can come up with a better solution that allows for these law enforcement actors to have fully funded pensions without doing that on the backs of poor people in the state of Missouri.
Ultimately, it's up to the voters to decide.
Hopefully we're going to get 50.1 or greater and get this thing passed.
Carey also said judges have the option to waive legal fees, including the ones that would be put in place by Amendment 6 if they deem it fit. In Columbia, Nathan Lee, KOMU 8 News.